guys, and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, my name is Emma. I am going to be doing another reading wrap-up, and these are the contemporary books that I have read recently. So I'm just going to start off with all the ones that I don't physically have with me. First is Fence, Volume 1. I read this for school, technically. I took a sports class. It's like sports literature, media stuff. So this is about fencing, and I read the first volume. I thought it was interesting. I'm not like super inclined to continue it though, and I didn't rate it because I read it for school, but overall like it was interesting. It just wasn't like entirely my thing. Next up is The Secret Lives of Church Ladies. I loved this. This is a short story collection about church ladies. They each sort of have some connection with the church, whether it's like a strong bond or a distant bond or whatever. It's just like, it's about women, you know? I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. Some of my favorite stories were When Eddie Leverett Comes, Peach Cobbler, and Snowfall. I just really liked those ones. And yeah, I just think it's great. It's a quick read, it's fun, and I highly recommend it. Next is Trust Exercise. This one is weird because the first half of the book, I like genuinely hated it. Hate's a strong word, but I was not enjoying it at all. There was a couple things where I was like, oh, this is interesting, but I didn't like it, like at all. Yeah. And then the second half of the book, I was like, wait a minute, this is good. I don't think I completely got it all, but I thought it was really good. The first half just like sucked. The second half was really fun because I don't know if I read this wrong, but I felt like it was kind of criticizing the first half. I ended up giving this one 4 stars because I enjoyed it and I thought it was well written. The second half, not that the first half was like poorly written, I just did not care at all. And then the last one that I don't have with me is My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Ottessa Moshfegh. I have a vlog where I read this one as well, and I enjoyed it. I don't remember what I rated it. I rated it 3.5 stars. I thought it was interesting, and it was like, it's just such a strange concept. I don't know how to explain this book because it's so like, it's so wild and so plain at the same time. Can't explain it. Basically what happens is she takes a bunch of sedatives to try and sleep for like as much as she possibly can in a year. And it kind of works. I mean, the sleeping part works, you know. It was very descriptive though, and I always had like a pretty clear picture of what was happening, and that was really nice to just like easily be able to see what was happening, I guess. Now let's get into the physical books. So the first one, I actually haven't returned it to the library yet, is Daisy Jones and the Six. I also listened to this. I got the audiobook from my library as well. And it's so good. It's so good. Not gonna lie, the first like 50 pages, maybe a little less than 50 pages, I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna be like the 1% of people that does not like this book. Like, and I was like, ah, oh, damn it, you know, because like you don't want to be that person that like hates on it, but I was kind of just like, damn. And then it got really good, and I don't think it started out bad. I just think I wasn't interested in it. I dig the 70s. I'm loving 70s lit, so yeah, but overall it was just a really fun read. I gave it 5 stars. Next, I read Little Scratch. This is a pretty quick read, but it's really intense. It follows a woman after a sexual assault. She's very much in her head, and it's understandable, and she's just thinking about it, and she's wanting to tell her significant other, but she's also like, how do I do that? And it's really intense, and it's set up interestingly. So it's kind of like poetry, but the syntax, formatting, I don't know. It's just like a little bit off, and so it's a little confusing to read sometimes because you're like, okay, how do I read this? And you start to sort of get the hang of it, and you can kind of dive into each page and like read something in certain ways, like with certain words, and it's just, you understand how it works as you kind of get more into it. It's a little bit more like participatory. Is that the word? You have to pay attention to it, and it's a little more active, like active reading. But I thought it was really good. I gave it 5 stars because it was really interesting and it's well written, and I put it in fiction because at some point in the book you understand that she wrote this sort of based off an experience, and so I didn't want to put it in nonfiction because it was more, I wasn't sure, honestly. I mean, like, I'm not gonna like dig into her life and try to figure it out, because she wrote a book about it. That's all that needs to be done. It's just really cool getting to see her thought process and like how messy it is sometimes, because dude, I get it. Next, I read Exciting Times by Dolan. It was bold and it was raw and it was open and I liked it, but I don't think I got it. I listened to it for the most part, and I think I was really distracted when I listened to it, because I mean, I have a couple tabs in there, but I was just like not really understanding it. Basically, I need to reread this. I didn't rate it because I couldn't come up with like a really solid, coherent thought to like accurately depict this book or accurately depict my feelings towards this book, other than like I'm confused because I think I just legit was not paying attention. It's a really quick read though, and so I think I want to reread it at some point soon because I want to be able to understand it. So yeah. Next up is Anxious People by Fredrik Backman. I like when characters are connected, when there's like a big cast of characters and they all connect to each other in like inadvertent ways sometimes, and I love that so much. This is about a bank robbery, but it's more so about people. It's so fun. It's so fun to read. It's dark, you know. Zara, I love her so much. Oh my god. It's fantastic. It is a story about idiots, and it's a damn good one. If you know, you know. Next, I read Dear Justice by Nick Stone. I've been wanting to read this forever, and I just kept putting it off, because Dear Martin is like so good. It's an all-time favorite, and I was just like nervous. It's kind of nerve-wracking when like someone writes like one of your favorite books, and then you're like, what if I don't like this one, you know? That wasn't an issue. I gave this 5 stars. I greatly enjoyed it. I thought Quan was a really interesting character, and I like how he relates to Justyce in Dear Martin. There's so many names that I'm saying right now. I don't know. I highly recommend both Dear Martin and Dear Justice. And finally, we have A Time to Dance by Padma Venkatraman. In this book, we follow Veda, and she dances the Bharatanatyam. It's like a type of dance, and I can't remember the name of the other one, but there's kind of like 2 ways to go about it. I think mostly just 2 ways. But basically we follow her. She's an amazing dancer. She like just wins an award, then she gets in a car accident and loses part of her leg. She gets a prosthetic leg and she wants to continue to dance, and it's hard work, but she loves dance so much and she just wants to keep going. And it's a really nice and inspiring book, and it's also written in verse, so it's a pretty quick read to get through, and I just enjoyed it a lot. I just thought it was really well done, and I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. So those are the books that I have read recently that fall in the contemporary category. I guess Daisy Jones and the Six is historical fiction. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this, and if you haven't seen it yet, check out the fantasy wrap-up. Let me know if you have read any of these books and what your thoughts were. Just don't spoil it for other people in the comments, please. Subscribe if you want to keep in touch with my videos. That was a very weird way of putting it, but sure, like the video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!